Okay, we're late, but we made it. It's been a day. Technical difficulties abound, but we're here. We made it. We made it to the stream. Aha! So, when last we left off, we had a game. We can move around. Our enemies can move, and we can hit our enemies, and they die, and make nice little skull and crossbones, which we can then walk over. And then we can continue exploring the dungeon and beating up more dudes. Oh god, there's so many! Presumably at some point we die as well. I don't know if that actually works. But today what we're going to be working on is adding an interface. Presumably so that we can see things like health bars. 'Cause, you know, that would be handy. There were 2 orcs in this room and one of them went away. Did I manage to kill both of them in the same spot? I guess so. But presumably when we die, we also turn into a skull and crossbones. But I have no idea what my health is at currently. Kind of hoping if I just like walk around long enough. It'll eventually get us. We've got to die eventually. Oh, there we go. We died. Game over. So now we can't move around anymore. All we can do is quit the game. Okay. So everything we've done so far is working, which is great. So today we're doing is adding the interface. So that... Let's maybe light myself properly, geez. So that we can actually, you know, see important information. So, what is it telling us? Note before, and I noticed that in the current version, the parser won't properly reparse the project, or at least some changes are not registered from other scripts. Sometimes throughout writing this code, that has caused issues for me when something would report an error or a new option was not shown in an exported variable. So should you encounter such issues, the best way I've found to deal with that problem is to reload the project. That probably is the problem that we've been having, where our inheritance wasn't working. Cool, cool, cool. Good to know there's a solution for that. This part will deal with the displayed text for the first time, so we need some fonts. Used Kenny's font pack, or included in the project files. Okay. Well, let's go grab us some fonts then. Sorry, Kenny, I'm not donating today. Now how do I get it in here? How do I import things? I did it before. I mean, I put this in here. Can I import? No. Do I just do it in the file explorer? I feel like there was... Oh, here. Import. Resource file in the file system and the inspector to adjust import settings. Okay, there's reload current project. Great. Whoa! Oh, that closes it. Good to know. However, that wasn't what I wanted. What I actually wanted is probably to just do it in the File Explorer. So give me a moment. Don't really want to show off my entire file system on the internet, so just stand by. Oh my god, where is export? I don't want to... Just want to extract it here. There we go. And then I want to take it out of there. Now where did I store this project? There we go. And I put other things under assets, resources. No. No, just assets, okay. And then this was saying assets, fonts. Okay, re-importing assets, good, good. Oh, God, this again. Is it going to reopen itself? No, of course it's not. Stand by. How's everybody doing today? I've been having fun with technical difficulties. Just things, you know, that were saved and then unsaved themselves half an hour later. It's great. Okay. So now we have our fonts. Fonts. Look at that. Okay, beautiful. What do we do with this? We'll now start with our interface. This is the part where we'll probably diverge from the original Python tutorial the most to do things the Godot way. We did a bit of that in the last tutorial with the state machine and the signal that triggered its transition, but this time we will go all out. We will go all out. Ooh. Right away, we see a huge refactor of our scene tree. We will use that to create a panel at the bottom of the screen where we will show the player's health bar, as well as a log for the messages we have only printed at the console so far. These messages will have a few different colors to differentiate the message type. So let's start out with a file to hold some color definitions. For that, create a new script extending ref counted at OK. Where are the glasses? Not on my face. I have dance class after this, and because I'm starting so late, I'm gonna like butt right up against the time where I have to like stop and go dance. So it seemed easier to just put in the contacts earlier because I don't like dancing with my glasses on because they fall off my face. So contacts today. Everything is expanded. Why is everything expanded? It's very annoying. Source, utils. Colors.gd. Create new. Script. New script. I'm gonna spell it the Canadian way and deal with it. No, this is gonna cause me problems later. This problem with not being an American developer is I want to spell things my way, but it's baked into the code to spell it the American way, and then it'll make me angry that things don't match in the code. So fine, Americans, you win. Okay, so what do we got in here? Player attack, enemy attack, player die, enemy die, and some welcome text in various colors. We define a few constant color values for different kinds of messages. So they are constants, and the script has a class name. We'll be able to easily access these values in code later. Now for the big remodel. Oh boy. Most random sentiment. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. What we want is a bar across the bottom of the screen. That bar should be segmented into two panels, one of which showing the player's health bar, the other showing the message log. We could simply overlay these on top of what we already have. However, we show the player centered on the screen. If we simply overlaid the UI on one side of the screen, we would introduce some asymmetry. By blocking off a bar on the bottom of the screen, center of the screen where the player is drawn, is now closer to the edge of that bar than it is to the top of the screen. This could seem weird. To circumvent that, you have to tell Godot that the info bar is one area and that it should use the rest for drawing from the camera. So the camera centers in that remaining part of the screen. Okay. Basically, we're making the game screen smaller in order to put in health bars. Fortunately, Godot's UI system makes this relatively easy if you know what you have to do. Okay, great. Are you going to tell me? Because I don't know. The interface we will build might seem overwhelming because it will consist of quite a few nodes, but each of these nodes has a specific purpose, so I do hope that it will make sense in the end. That was a lot of words. Start off, go into the scene tree of the game scene. Okay. Add another control node as a child. Ooh, okay, there is a control node. Create. Call it interface root. Rename. Base root. Right click and make scene root. Ah. Ah, okay. Should be at the top of the tree with game being a child of it. Yes. Great. First things first, click the interface root and make sure you are in the 2D editing workspace. Done. Right click it. No, I did that part already. 2D in the main window, select the anchor presets. Wait, I zoom in. Select anchor presets. The icon that looks like a little plus in a circle. Okay, that's center view. Anchor presets. Is this the main window? Anchor presets. The icon that looks like a little plus in a circle. Ah, okay. Anchor presets. I guess it kind of looks like a plus. I was gonna say it looks more like a ruler or something. The main window, okay. And select the bottom right option, full rect. Bottom right. Full rect. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, I don't know. Just talk to a girl with glasses one day. She goes to me. Cool story. No, that sucks though. It's rude. Now, said we wanted to have the game world. What? We said we wanted to have the game world and the info panel on top, one on top of the other. So in order to split things vertically, we need a new VBox container as a child of interface root. Okay. Child of interface root. A VBox container. It will hold the viewport. It will hold the viewport our camera will draw to. Don't know why that sentence was so hard. Check the stretch property. Under layout container sizing? Check the stretch property. Where's that? Check the stretch property. Where? What property? You know Sigmund Freud. Somewhat, yeah. I took a psychology class once upon a time. What is the stretch property? Doesn't seem to be it. Okay. And under layout, container sizing, vertical. What's a stretch property? Girls with glasses are more attractive than men with glasses. I mean, to be fair, like, something like half the population has glasses, so like, I don't know how much you really need to read into that. What's a stretch property? Oh, psh, I'm missing steps. I'm missing steps. Okay, I made the VBox container as a child of interface root and set this to full rect as well. Got it. Okay, I did that part. And then as a child of this, create a sub viewport container. Check the stretch property. There we go. And then under layout, container sizing. Oh no. Layout. Now there's no container sizing. Oh wait, here we go. Container sizing. Vertical, check, expand. Now create a sub viewport. As a child of that. And on that, check. Viewport. Disable 3D. Also scroll down to canvas items. Default texture filter. Set it to nearest. Otherwise our pixel art will be blurry. Okay. That was an intense paragraph. Let's save this before we lose it. The oldest person in my family without glasses. Huh. Congratulations. I'm getting that far in life without needing glasses in this holding screens 6 inches from our face kind of world. I think everybody in my family has glasses. I only made it to the age of 9 before I needed them. I don't remember not wearing glasses, honestly. Wearing contacts aside. What phone? Why does everybody want to contact me right now? Is this important? People want to post about me on the internet. Yes, absolutely. You're allowed to post about me on the internet. One of my friends does photography as a hobby / income. And so a while ago we did a photo shoot, and so I was asking if you could post one of the photos of me. Okay, did that part. Last part of this refactor is to take the game node and drag it into the sub viewport. Take the game node, let's just minimize that, and drag it into the sub viewport. With that, the game will be rendered right inside our defined little window, which incidentally is the whole screen right now. You should be able to run the project at this point, and everything should look just like it did before. Does it though? God, I hope so. Oh, look at that! It does! Great. Wonderful. So let's start assembling bottle panel. Words are hard. We want 2 panels side by side, horizontally. So we add. We're gonna add a What's the child of the where now? I'm remembering why I tend not to wear contacts for this. Because my contacts are not quite the right prescription, which makes reading, particularly on screens, just a tiny bit more difficult. We want 2 panels side by side horizontally. Pause for a bop. Speaking of reading. Okay. Dance break done. Okay, 2 panels side by side horizontally, so we add an H-box container as a child of the V-box container. Okay, or a V-box container. We're adding a child that is an H-box container. And we're calling it, oops, info bar. School's library, there are at least 225-year-old Bibles. Whew. Man. North America, you're lucky to get a 125-year-old building, never mind a book. How old is your school? So over here, 100 years is like absolutely ancient. I think the entire country's only 150? Should know this. In layout, container sizing, check the vertical expand. Okay. This would cause the bottom. Let's zoom out a little more. There's a center button, right? No. Center. Here we go. This would cause the bottom panel to take up half of the vertical space, which is a bit much. Could also set a fixed height, but instead let's go back to the sub viewport container and into layout container sizing. No, sorry, the container sizing. Set the stretch ratio to 5. As sub viewport container and info bar. This one and this one are the 2 children of V-box container. And both are set to expand vertically. They will share the available vertical space. However, now that sub viewport container has a stretch ratio of 5, it will take up 5 parts of that space, while info bar will only take up 1. This results in the info bar, and thereby our other panels, only taking up 1/6 of the vertical space. Sure. Lastly, to make sure there is no gap between the 2 panels, we will create as part of the info bar, we set theme. Okay. I guess, so this is part of info bar. Theme overrides. Constants separation to 0. I guess we check that. Okay. School is 5 years old, building is 60 to 80, town's 840. Nothing in this country is 840 years old. Well, nothing European. It's remotely that old. Just gotta phrase that better, because obviously there were people here for thousands of years before Europeans came in and said, this is ours now. Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking about it lest I say something political that I don't mean to. You didn't get a Twitch notification? Boo Twitch! Very rude. Extraordinarily rude of it. Or sometimes you... Yeah, but like... When you're losing to the people that came over and said, hey, this is ours now, like... You just lost to the school bully. It's not cool. Start filling the info bar. Create 2 panel containers. 2 panel containers. Name one stats panel. And 1 messages panel. Like everywhere? Yeah, I guess so. It's boring history to have to learn. Don't know if anybody would call war boring. On the other hand, it's a lot of the same. One contact lens is giving me grief today. Very upsetting. Okay, stats panel. We set... In stats panel, we set the layout. Container sizing, horizontal expand, true. And we do the same in messages panel, layout, container sizing, expand. But we set it to 2. There we go. Means the messages panel will be double wide as the stats panel. We still need to style these panels. To do that, we'll use another trick involving our sprite sheet. In the stats panel, under theme overrides styles, click into the slot for panel. Create a new style box texture. For texture, create a new atlas texture. And set our familiar sprite sheet as the texture. No. That's not what I want to do. Two by... Oh, you're smaller. Ah. Great, okay. Edit the region and select the last tile at the bottom right. Hang on. These are not, I guess it was this one. The region. That's better. Okay, got it. Margins and medical text. I love old books where people have written notes in them. Like, the sense of humor I've found in books from like 150 years ago were the same. Okay, where am I at? Bottom right, you see the little rectangle back in the style box texture. Set all the texture margins to 5 pixels. Oops. In the style box texture. Set all the texture margins. Texture margins. Texture margins? Texture margins to 5 pixels. And all the content margins to 8 pixels. Now this rectangle should stretch properly. Click the downwards arrow next to the style box texture in the panel slot. And select copy. And then presumably go into messages panel under theme overrides styles. Paste. Now both our containers are styled. Really, though? I am not confident that is showing up how it's supposed to. Oh, no, it is. Okay, look at that. Look, we have cute little borders. Ah, look at that. Love it. It's very exciting. Monks in medieval Europe still mostly fart jokes. Love that. I want somebody to explain or attempt to explain the inside joke that must be the snails, the like jousting snails in the margins. Like, they joust everybody, they're just snails. So I feel like that's just like somebody thought snails were funny or something. Like that just, it has to be an inside joke for there to be zero explanation of why snails. Shakespeare is all your mama jokes. The moment when we were reading Shakespeare in high school and I realized it was like 80% dirty jokes. It was a good moment. Styled. Hath not seen the jousting snails of Aquitaine? No, I have not. Alright. Oh, we're finally gonna make a health bar, guys. It's very exciting. Don't want the health bar to take up the whole left panel, but instead to sit at the top of it. That basically means aligning it vertically. So we want a new VBox container as part of stats panel. Child node, VBox container. The bar itself will consist of the bar and a label sitting on top of it. Best way to align multiple elements on top of each other and stretch them to the available space is to use a margin container. Call it HP display. 2 children for it. Progress bar? Ooh, there's a progress bar, which we're calling HP bar. And a label, which we call HP label. They sometimes put salt in their lances. Oh no, what was that? What did I do? That's not what I wanted. How dare they? Tricksy snails. On HP bar, untick show percentage. Set step to 1. Then theme overrides styles. Create a new style box flat in both of these. color in the back style box to this color, whatever that is. Sure. And the color in the front one to the front one. I think you mean the fill one. Okay. On the HP label, set horizontal alignment and vertical alignment to center. 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 Then create a new label settings resource. Oh god. How does this work? Then create a new label settings resource. Oh, here we go. Label settings. Skinny pixel. Okay. Canny pixel. Square canny pixel. And set the size of the outline. Size of the outline to 4. And its color to black. Let's also make these two nodes uniquely accessible. I doubt we will change the node structure of the health bar much, but it's good practice anyway. So right click on HP bar and select access as unique name. Okay. And do the same for HP label. Access as unique name. Should see percentage signs next to the names in the scene tree now. Yes, good. Ugh. Want to be done with the living room cleanup? Yeah, well, you did a lot. Given how empty your office was the other day, your living room must have been very full. Okay. Save. Now to make this do something, we create a script on HP display. Or HP display. Create a script. Source GUI. HP display. Whoa, and I can't spell display. There we go. Create. And here's the top of the script. So we get the two children with their unique scene names. If you're unfamiliar with that feature, the nice thing about this is that you can now change the scene tree around, create intermediate nodes, etc. The script still won't need to change, as it will still find those nodes. That is lovely. Next, we need a function to actually change the values. Okay. Don't know that we actually need any of those. So there's that. We have a function that takes in the HP and the max HP of the player. This is a bit lazy, as we could also store those values and only handle max HP when the value actually changes, but we expect the player's HP to change infrequently enough that the small overhead should not matter that much, so we prefer the easiest solution. We change value and the max value of the HP bar and then construct a string showing the HP and set that as the text of HP label. We need to set up a way to call that, so we will create a function to initialize the label, which presumably should be an HP label. I clearly hear some lyrics from my apartment. Yeah. I guess maybe this is supposed to go in here. But I want to put that above that because that just makes more sense in my mind. Here we get the player. The problem here is the way the scene tree is structured. This function will be called before this node is ready. Before it has references to its children, which would cause an error when we want to set those variables. We could ensure that this function is called with get deferred, but the other option is to have this function wait until it's ready by calling await ready. Hence that. Next we see a signal on the fighter component. Which we will shortly create, and which will inform us about changes to an entity's HP. We connect that signal from the player's fighter component to our player HP changed, which is down here. That now handles most of the work. However, this will only fire once the player's HP changes. But starting out, the state of the bar is still undefined. That's why we get the player's current HP and max HP and call player changed HP right now, which will set the state of the bar to the starting HP and max HP of the player. Okay. I dislike reading screens with contacts in. Not gonna make that mistake again. Let's handle the signal we mentioned real quick. In fighter component, modify the top as follows. Fighter component. So we now have the signal HP changed, and that gets emitted when the HP changes. We hit the signal, and then in the setter we emit it after the HP has been changed. Right now we don't change the max HP in any way, so we don't need to handle that at the moment. Now that we have that in place, it's time to call the initialize function that we created. We could pass around references to HP display and call it directly somehow, but all the initialize function really needs is a reference to the player. So to get the player from the game node to the HP display node, we use a signal. In game.gd, add a signal at the top. Player created. Then at the top of the ready function, we emit that signal right after the player is created. Makes sense. The game node will now emit a signal containing a reference to the player as soon as the player is created. For the moment, no one is listening to that signal, so in the scene tree, select game, switch to the inspector tab. Switch the inspector tab to the node tab. In the signals sub-tab, you should now see the player created signal. Double click that. Ah, we're setting it up this way. Okay. And select. Hang on. You should now see the player created signal. Double click and select the HP display as the target node. Under receiver method, click the pick button and select initialize. Click OK on that window and connect in this window. Now I should be able to run the project and see a health bar. If you find an enemy and let them hit you, you should see the health bar change according to the damage the player receives. Theoretically, we have a health bar. Well, we have something. Come here. Oh, it is beating on me. If I wiggle back and forth, it's very, very skinny, but it's there. I don't know that it's supposed to be quite that skinny. I died. Okay, but it does work. It's very, very skinny, but it does work. We can fix that after. That's just a styling thing. Crunch. Okay, my eyeballs need a break, so we're gonna take a break for a second. Just gonna throw that up there. I think I wanted to ask people. I am collecting ideas for other streams I could do. So we were talking about an art stream the other day, presumably trying to draw, question mark, things from Dwarf Fortress. But I also recently started following somebody that's been doing, it's been doing OBS setup streams, and I do want to, I'm currently using Streamlabs OBS, but I do want to move over to just regular OBS because I think that's going to give me more flexibility to do what I want. It also has an extension that will allow me to multi-stream, because I've had requests to also stream to YouTube because some people don't want to use Twitch, which is totally fair. So we could do some OBS setup streams, there's art streams. I want to redo all of the branding and graphics and stuff for the channel and everything. I want to redo all the pixel art stuff. So there's pixel art streams. I have thoughts, but, you know, what are your thoughts? I'm collecting thoughts. To watch an OBS setups. It'll be a lot of me flailing around trying to figure it out, but from what I've seen, you can do some really nifty scene transitions that I'm excited to play with. This guy's got, like, he's got channel point redemptions that'll, like, transition his scenes so that like a clone of him comes in from the background and pours himself a glass of water and then like walks out of the room again, and like it sort of like plays videos or like puts overlays on him, and like just it's very nifty, and I want to learn how to do this. So that's a thought. Oh, when I see my drawing of Sauron, sure. Feel free to stick that in Discord, I guess. It's probably the easiest way. I'd also like to play around with more of the live coding music stuff. I don't know if that's interesting for anybody else to watch, but I'm going to play around more with it, so whether that gets streamed or not is up to the audience. A clown tiny dictator run around your background. Yeah, I would have to get some video clips and stuff. I have to get a green screen for the really cool stuff to work. So that's on the list of things to get eventually. And in general. Ah, yes. Nice. Very shadowy. I like it. Video clips I have. Perfect. Probably have some kind of cat redemption. So, lots of opportunity with the OBS setup stuff. Or if there's like suggestions of other games you want to see. So, stuff to think about. Feel free to drop it in the chat or in Discord so that it doesn't go away the instant I stop streaming, and I might actually remember some of it. Fabric stash is now below hip. That's a hell of a stash. But good job for destashing. Someone else a lot of shadow. Yes, I do know. I'm aware of these things. He's shadowy. It's good. Oof. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Oh no, where did you come from? Ah! So excited for when we eventually have like animations and stuff. Okay, but even just adding a health bar is like, it really adds something. That's all that. There's also no win condition in this game right now. Like, you just survive as long as you can. even if you beat up all the bad guys, like, you can just wander around the dungeon forever. Doesn't actually do anything. Oh, we're not gonna make it, guys. Oh, wait, maybe we will. Huh. Oh wait, I think we may be... Oh no, there's more map over here. Might want to consider a win condition at some point. At some point. I mean, I guess when all the enemies are defeated? I think that's the whole map. I think that's it. With 2 hit points left, I seem to have defeated the entire dungeon. Cool. Anyway. Length of... Usually the Rav Roulette no matter what. Yeah, sure, we can do that again. It was easy enough. Yeah, I need to make the health bar a little heftier. It's currently like 1 pixel wide, and I don't really know why. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Border resource? No. Because it was currently very skinny, and I need it to be less skinny. Is it just that... Is it just that the boxes... Okay, you're huge, so why... This might be too hefty. Oh. Nope, that didn't do what I wanted at all. It's still tiny. I just made the whole thing bigger. Okay, that's not what I want. Layout, container sizing. Oh, let's go with fill. There we go. Oh, and the text is even on the bar. I think that's what it was supposed to be from the very beginning. That's a much better health bar. It's beautiful. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is this dungeon? I don't like it. Where's all the enemies? Oh, that one hits hard! I don't think we're gonna make it, guys. I think we're gonna die. We only got 5 hit points left. Oh, 3 hit points left. 1 hit point. Are there any more enemies on this map? Yes, 1. Oh, we lost. Anyway, our health bar is beautiful now. So that's good. We fixed that problem. Okay. We did that part. The next challenge is to get the messages on the screen. First, we create a class for messages. Create a new script extending label at blah 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 my message. It should contain these things. Which is saying message extends label. We have count. So what is with this 2 lines of separation nonsense? I don't like it. Fine, we can just have a line of separation at the end of the text file. Be that way. So plain text equals message text. Text equals plain text. Why? Why do we even have why is this? Tutorial explain why this is. We store the plain text and a count variable. This is to group messages in case we send the same message multiple times in a row. We'll discuss the setter of count in a moment. In init, we simply set the plain text. Yeah. Then set the actual text of the label to the plain text. For reasons. We also set the auto wrap mode to smart auto wrapping in case we have long messages that need to take up multiple lines. And the full text function assembles the message together with the count. In case we have a count larger than 1, this function appends that count. Ah, okay, so if we have the same message like 6 times, it'll be like it'll only show the message once, but with like a times through 6 or whatever at the end. Got it. So I know when we set text, that's setting the like text property of the label. But I'm not clear why we need to set plain text to message text and then text to plain text. I am unclear why we need to do this. I don't know why we can't just set text to message text. Maybe this will become apparent later. Notice that we did not handle the color so far, and if you know Godot well enough, you might also have caught that we didn't set a font so far. And would use the not-so-fitting default font. So we create a new label settings resource. Label settings resource under assets, resources, new resource. And it will be message label settings. And change the font to the one we were using before. And then we modify the script again to take in our label settings. We load the resource, we can access it in the init function, which is now going to look like this. So, set label settings of our label to a duplicate of the resource we just created. Then we set label settings font color to the color we gave the init function. That's also the reason we need to duplicate our label settings. If we just assign them, then all the messages would share the same label settings. And each time we set the color on one message, all the other message labels would change as well. But we don't want to do that. Messages are ready now, so we need a place to put them, meaning we will expand our node tree again. Messages panel is still empty. So we add a new scroll container. Call it message log. And we want to list the messages. We add a VBox container as a child of that. Call it messages list. For the message log, set horizontal scroll to disable. We want messages to wrap instead of extending to the right. Set vertical scroll to never show. Will allow scrolling. And even controlling the UI element with the mouse wheel, but it won't show the scroll bar, which doesn't fit the aesthetic. For the message list, check layout, container sizing, horizontal expand. We don't need vertical expand of the messages, will stretch the container. Also set message list. Let's rename that briefly. Message list to be accessible by a unique name. Now we can create the code for that. Want to be able to send a message from anywhere without knowing too much about the message log system or where it is. To do that, we need the signal bus again, so open up signal bus. We're adding message sent. Now we have message sent signal, which we will use in the code for the message logs. So create a new script on the message log node. GUI. Message log. Script looks like that. So we're hanging on to last message and a reference to our message list VBox container. Most messages can just be children, but for the count thing we established earlier to work, excuse me, we need a reference to the last message. Of course, we also need one. We also need one to the message list node. What? I think there's a typo there. I don't know what they're trying to say. Doesn't matter. Add the thing. This is the function to add a message to our log. So it checks if we do have a last message. And that text equals this text. If so, we simply increment the last message's count by 1. Otherwise, we create a new message. Set that as the new last message. And then add it to our list. We would... If we left it at that, you would only see the first few messages appear, but the scroll system would not follow the action as new messages appear. We can do that with ensure control visible. However, that function needs to know the sizing of all of the involved UI elements, which is only updated once per frame. So we have to use await get tree process frame to wait a frame and only call it after that. Okay. So that makes the scroll stuff work. And we have a ready function. We connect the message sent signal from the signal bus to the add message function. The only thing we need to do now is emit the signal somewhere. Stick it in there, I guess. We use a static function that wraps the emitting of that signal. See how you see. I can read words. You'll see how we use this in a bit. And it's just more intuitive that way than to directly emit the signal from everywhere we want to create a message. Speaking of which, let's create a little welcome message in game at the end of ready. We'll create a message. We have the same problem we had earlier with the UI, which is that when we do stuff in the ready function, the other nodes might not be ready yet themselves. To work around this, we use call deferred, which makes our function call look a bit weird. We need to take the function object, send message from message log, bind the two arguments we want to pass to it, and then use call deferred. That will make sure the function is only called later when all the nodes are ready. This should work now, and when you start the project, you should see the welcome message. Alright, moment of truth. Hey! Look at that! It's in a cute blue color. Hello and welcome, adventurer, to yet another dungeon. Very nice. Still have a few messages that we need to move from console printing to the message log. One of those is melee action. So what is this doing? Okay. We can get rid of the entire rest of this, I think. So we add an attack color. And if the entity is the player, then we use a player attack color. Otherwise it's the enemy attack color. We build the string same as before. And if we do damage, it's for however many hit points. And then we send the message with all the information. And do the damage. Otherwise, but does no damage. And send the message anyway. So we're basically just changing colors and replacing the print call with a send message call. So it'll print to the screen console instead of the Godot console. The other place we need to modify is the die function fighter component. So we just need to add this in here before we emit the die signal. and change the color here. And then actually send message instead of printing it. Oh, I neglected to add this. And we need to decide the color depending on who died. Of course, we also need to decide the text according to that, but we already did that before. Then instead of printing, we call the message log again, and with that our message system works. When running the project, you should see new messages appearing, and you can already scroll the log with the mouse wheel. Let's see if that works. Okay, have a message. Ooh, player attacks orc for 5 hit points. Orc attacks player for 1 hit point. Orc is dead. Nice, nice. Where does this go? Wow, what a fun room. Anyway. And we can... Oh yes, look at that! We can scroll through our little message thingies. It's beautiful. Great. So then the only thing that I still want to know is that the player death works. So if I just walk around in front of these guys and let them kill me. There we go. I died. Which is red. Perfect. Wonderful. It's working, guys. It's starting to look like a real game. Be nice to be able to control the log with the keyboard. To do that, we'll need another input handler. Use a little trick for which we need to expand base input handler. What are these? We now have enter and exit. Okay. Closer to an actual state machine, we add a function that is called when we enter an input handler. Another that's called when it's exited. This will be called in input handler. In the transition to function. Here. So we don't have current input handler, the exit handler. I'll be honest, I do not remember much of the tutorial about where we set up these input handlers and what they actually mean. I'm just going to assume that works. We call the exit function before we change the input handler, then we call the enter function once the current input handler points to the new input handler. We also have a check if the current input handler is null for the very first transition when we don't have an input handler yet. Right, we change input handlers when the player dies so that we can't move around as like a ghost anymore. Before we create a new input handler, we will expand our input map a bit. God, we are almost done, right? Okay. I think we can get this done. I think we can do it. I don't know when I'm gonna eat dinner, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Expand our input map. Go to project. Oops. Project settings. Input map. We modify our quit action. Most users might select the escape key to take them back to the previous menu, not straight up quit the game. So remove the escape key. And then add the Q key. Before confirming, check Control in the additional options. This will mean that Control Q will be our quitting shortcut. And add a new action called View History. Add the V key for that. Add another action called UI back. And add the escape key to that. Done. Now we can create a new input handler. Create a new node child under input handler. Okay, we want a new node under input handler and call it history viewer. Node history viewer. Create a new script on this node. Yes, okay. Attach a script. Game. Event handlers. History viewer. Input handler. Which looks like this. We create a constant that says how many pixels we scroll with each step. We export a few variables. We need to access some other nodes in the tree. To do that, we first export node paths, which we can set via the editor. After that, we get the actual nodes. So on ready variables using getNode and as we will set. And we use enter and exit to toggle the self-modulate of the panel. We enter this input handler. The panel border of the message log will turn red, and once we return to another state, it will turn white again. Okay. And then for actual input handling, have all of this. So we use the action keys to move the log around. The up and down movement keys, we go down or up our scroll step And with the left and right movement keys, we go to the beginning or end. And we check for the view history action, or the UI back action, which triggers an input handler transition back to the main game input handler. And then we check for a quit action, and if we can enter that, we do quit the game. So, after saving the script, select the history viewer input handler in the editor. Did you not just say call it history viewer? New node under, yeah, and call it history viewer. Select the history, I guess that's this one. In the inspector, click on the slot next to messages panel path, and then the window that pops up. Select the messages panel. Do the same with the message log path. We still need to integrate this input handler with the rest of the game. Let's start with input handler GD. Okay. So we now also have history viewer. And a history viewer input. Alright, the rest of this seems... yeah, for naming consistency. Put handler there. That makes it consistent with this and all of the other input handlers. That's probably how it's supposed to be. Add a new entry to the enum, and blah blah blah. And then for get action, ooh, so there's lots of action. Oh, I was supposed to do that in main game input handler. Oopsie. Main game input handler, get action. We have wait and quit. And now also view history. So we should be able to run this, and once we have a few message log things... I don't know that you're supposed to be there, sir. Anyway, we have some message logs now, so in theory I can press V, and that highlights our message log. Oh, and I can scroll with the arrows. And I can skip to the end and the beginning. Oh, look at that. Well, that's handy. I actually quite like that. Right, and escape is not quit anymore, it's Control Q. Cool. So that's all working. Last thing. Right now we can hit an orc to let the message log tell us that it's an orc. Only 2 types of enemies. We can easily remember what's what, but it'd be nice if we had a way to identify entities on the screen. I mean, they look different. Was I not supposed to assign them different images? We'll implement a simple label that shows a list of the entities under the mouse cursor. Oh, this is going to be useful for debugging! Start with the part that gets the information. Create a node 2D as child of map. Map, child node, node 2D, mouse over checker. Create a script on the node. No, wait, go to here. Over checker. There we go. We have an entity's focus signal that we'll use to relay the information to the UI later. We also have a variable that stores the tile we're currently on, so we only need to recompute things when we change the tile we hover over. Also, we get a reference to the map that's the parent of this node. So we have some unhandled input. So this will trigger whenever there is an input event that hasn't been handled yet. If you move the mouse over the user interface control, nodes will set the input as handled, meaning our mouse won't look through those panels. Then inside the function, we first make sure the event is in an input mouse motion. Okay. So the following code will only execute in response to mouse motions. Then we get the current mouse position as a local position, which takes the camera into account. We can use this to calculate the tile position of the tile the mouse is currently over. We then further check if that tile is another tile than the mouse was previously on. We have changed the hover tile. So, if so, we update the stored mouse position and then get the entity names from a function we'll shortly write. Okay, great. So this is just getting the stuff on the tile at the location. So we get the map data. We use to check if the tile we're hovering is in view. So if we can't see it, we return an empty list. Otherwise, we roll through our array of entities, and if they're on that position, add them to the list. Oh, and then we have a custom sort function. What are we sorting on? Z index. Z index corresponds to the entity type, and this way we will list more important things like alive entities first in the list. Once we have that sorted list, we assemble it into a string. Use the first entity name separately, so in the loop that goes to the remaining entities. we can prepend a comma. Yep, got it. So now we have the system for getting the entities that are under the mouse cursor. Now we need a way to display it. We can just add a label below the HP bar. Create a new label node as part of the stats panel. Here we go. Beanbox container. Okay. In here. And call it... Wait. We're adding a label. And you're called... mouse over label. Create a new label settings resource. And fill it with the font again. Kenny Pixel. Also under layout container sizing. Layout container sizing. Check expand and shrink end. That way the label will sit at the bottom of that panel. The last step, we will use the signal from mouse over checker to change the text of mouse over label. Luckily that signal has a string argument, meaning we can directly use signals for that. Click the mouse over checker. In the scene tree and switch from inspector to node, signals. Should see the entity's focus signal. Double click. Need to activate the advanced options. Oh. To be able to select mouse over label. The pick button activates script methods only. Now I'm presented with all the built-in functions, including set text. Which we'll select. Confirm. Connect. The dialogue system is hooked up now. Our mouse over checker will generate the signal whenever we hover over a new tile, and that signal will directly trigger a change of text of our mouse over label. You can now run the project and try out the mouse over system. In theory? In theory? Okay. Oh! We can mouse over and then it shows up down here. We've got orc, player, orc, and then if there's nothing there, then it just remains of orc, remains of orc. Ah, that's so cool. That's great. Minor bug where if you're hovering over it when the name of something changes it doesn't update, but meh. I kinda don't care. Remains of orc, remains of orc. This is so handy. Oh, I love it. Right, Control Q. Amazing. We made it through the tutorial. Oh my gosh. That's... Oh. We made it, you guys. Okay. We have an interface. It's beautiful and almost perfect. My voice is going, and I need to find some dinner before I go dancing. So, we'll be back Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern with some Dwarf Fortress. If you have thoughts on other streams I can do, or other stuff you'd like to see on streams, other coding things you'd like to see, you want to see some lead code problems, you want to see some cybersecurity stuff, work on Twitch tools, I don't know. If you've got thoughts, drop them in Discord. Oh, come on, Cloudbot, really? Whatever, they're below in the doobly-doo, you know? Come on, Cloudbot, why are you like this? Why are you like this? I have timers. Cloudbot's working. Or it says it is, anyway. I don't know. Hang on. Well, okay, I don't know why Cloudbot's not working, but anyway, they're in the doobly-doo. Drop thoughts in the Discord. Because I'm looking for thoughts. Oh, I did finally get my code up on GitHub, in case that's a thing that you want to look at. I should probably link that anywhere on this page. Well, that's something to do. But I guess I have to update the code for today. Anyway. See y'all on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern for some Dwarf Fortress. Otherwise, we're back here next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern for more of this. I've actually got more than just me in here today. Do we want to go raid somebody? Taking suggestions for raids. Who's doing something cool? Do we want a coding stream? What are we in the mood for? We could do... Who am I following that's even on? For people that I follow, let's see, there's a D&D stream. It's happening. There's a stream about paleontology, which is absolutely unrelated to anything I did today. There's a stream about Dwarf Fortress. Or I've got some music streams. I don't know if people are into that. It's not exactly lo-fi. What are we feeling? Dwarf Fortress or Dungeons and Dragons? One vote for Dwarf Fortress? Alright. That's what it's gonna be then. We will go raid Blind IRL, who's like the biggest Dwarf Fortress streamer on the platform, and whatever. Show you guys his stream. Alright, see you guys on Friday. Bye. Oh, come on.